Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CouRage Nadeshot Show, brought to you by Heineken 00. My name is Jack Courage Dunlop, and you might be wondering, wow, why are you guys back in your bedrooms? Because we love streaming ourselves from our bedrooms and our stream rooms. Joined by Will Neff, the much better looking and much more entertaining version of Nadeshot, and our returning guest, Wildcat, back for what I think is the 14th time.
No.
Okay.
It's like the second, actually. But I'm back.
Nah.
And also, I think I'm the reason this is on camera. I didn't want to fly to LA. Just wasn't going to do it.
Hey, I don't blame you. I wouldn't.
I was in LA twice in the past 2 months. We were trying to make it work, and it just timing-wise didn't work. So,
I mean, it's kind of rude because we're only launching your entire own animated show that we'll definitely talk about. And we'll get into a couple things. I want to give 2 quick shout outs. One, Nadeshot, who's not here right now, still coming back home from, I believe, looking at potential wedding venues. That's where we're at in life in the CouRage Nadeshot Show.
I got to do that soon too. That's great. We're getting old.
See, we are. And then also our producer, Alex, just had a baby. Congratulations to Alex and his wife on having a beautiful baby. And so
we're adult ass nerds now.
Yeah, it's kind of
what the hell is going on? And then Willie, you were at a wedding this weekend. Are you hungover right now for this? No, you're not hungover. You drink responsibly.
That's right. That's right. I only ever drink responsibly. I don't know how I'm supposed to deal with that because of the sponsor. I'm just going to shake my head and say, yep, correct.
Perfect. Well, you had a nice responsible weekend in New Orleans. Was there any standout moment?
I mean, New Orleans known for how responsible they are. You know what I mean? And I was just stricken by that, really. When I was out dancing in the street with open containers, I just kept thinking, wow, this city knows responsibility.
Wow. You are one of the most brand-friendly people in this industry, Will, and it's showing through. It's
open containers of water. Everyone was just hydrating very well.
I know. It gets so warm down there. And Wildcat, I mean, so much has changed since the last time you were on this episode. I remember we talked mainly about gaming and this and that, but since then, even right now, I think Alpha Betas has another episode about to premiere in 40 minutes, or is it right now?
Yeah, 40 minutes. Or is it now?
I think it's 40
I don't
minutes.
know. I think it's 40 minutes.
So this is something that I think you and Will would actually have a lot of crossover with because you guys just met prior to this podcast. But Will, Wildcat can explain it, but he has his own animated show with 3 of his great friends.
Wow.
And I was a cameo on it that came out last week, and the episodes have been awesome, great. Tyler. I got to give you props, man. You guys have crushed it.
Thank you. Yeah, we're pretty happy with it. But yeah, I mean, I guess to fill you in, Will, we've done gaming videos for a long time, and a lot of our videos kind of felt like an animated show in a sense. Right. Like we're all playing these characters. A lot of it was in Gary's mod Sandbox. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's like a very open world. Familiar. Like you can spawn in whatever you want. And so it always kind of felt like a little bit of a show. So we're like, all right, what's the next step of that? Well, it's obviously to actually make a show where you can write anything and draw anything to happen. And so we toyed around with a couple like ones that we did on YouTube. We did like the Magic Tomato, which was like a sponsored little one we did. We did one called Team 6 that was like a parody of Team 10. And then we're like, all right, let's take this to the next scale. And we got like $1 million in funding to put together this full 22-minute pilot, like a full episode. And the idea was make the pilot, put it on YouTube completely free, get a bunch of views, and then try and shop it around to networks and stuff. And we shopped it around. We had a couple offers, but it was a little tricky because not everybody wanted a lot of the networks, like they want to like completely take control basically of the project.
Yep.
And like that was not really appealing to us. And so then we were like, all right, well, let's kickstart fund some more episodes. And those episodes are the ones that are airing now. So we did a 22-minute pilot, and then we have 44 minutes of new episodes coming out. One of which is apparently going live in like 40 minutes.
What did you say the name of the show was?
It's called Alpha Betas. The premise is that me and my 3 dumb friends work for the CIA under a secret government agency known as the Energy Division, because in this universe, the world is powered by video games. The government was running out of energy in the 70s, so they made these little, like kids playing on the controllers. That's generating electricity. It's a goofy premise, but it's a lot of fun.
It's like the Matrix battery.
Yeah, basically, yeah. and then when there's a problem, our 4 characters go into the video games to solve the problem. And there's a bunch of goofy jokes and parodies and fun stuff with that.
I love that, man. Dude, I'm a huge cartoon guy myself. I I still watch cartoons. I actually have a cartoon I work on as well. That's kind of like a side project, but it's like a improv cartoon. I work with a guy named Lord Spew, who's Pendleton Ward's storyboard artist. So I love cartoons. What's been your biggest struggle working on a cartoon? Because there were so many pitfalls I did not expect going into creating an animation.
I think the hardest part is just the how quickly everything needs to move. There's so realizing how many moving pieces there are. I think our pilot, we had over 200 plus people that worked on it. I think the following episodes is around a similar number. I mean, there's literally hundreds of people working to produce these shows.
Yeah.
And it's you can do the writing, you can creatively have what you want, but if you want to actually get it done, you have to hit deadlines, and some things have to be sacrificed. And that's really the hard part is if you actually want something to get done on time, it can't be completely perfect. And so being able to be all right, we got to kind of let this go. We got to change this a little bit. We got to do this way. That was definitely the hardest part, was just how quickly things kept moving. And you're wait, we wanted to change that. And don't have time. It's okay. But I mean, we're still pretty happy with how it came out.
Have you done formal voice acting before? Was this your first foray outside of kind of streaming?
No, this is the first time. And I'm not going to sit here and think we were incredible, but I think me and my friends did a really good job, considering the characters are based off of us, basically. It's heightened personalities of who we are in our videos. Right. So it comes very natural. But I mean, there's still some parts when we're in the voice acting booth where you have to do all right, all right, in this scene you're running and grunting and jumping. It's that's so awkward and so hard to do well.
Can you give us some effort sounds, please?
Yeah, sure. You actually have to physically do it. You got to do something, and it's just really awkward. And the pilot was in the middle of COVID, and so we actually couldn't go to, and I still couldn't go to the actual recording studio for the following episodes. But in the pilot, I recorded all my lines in my girlfriend's closet because she had the most clothes and stuff around to dampen the sound. So right. I'm in this closet for 3 hours just grunting and yelling. Yeah, that was probably... But I think we did all right, me and my friends. And then we actually had some legit voice actors. We had Joe DiMaggio, or John DiMaggio. I can't remember. Joe or John. Sorry, John. Joe. But he voiced Bender in Futurama.
Yeah.
But he's an incredible voice actor. And he did a couple of voices in the show, both in the pilot and in the new episodes. Incredible. Chris Parnell, who is... what's his name? Morty's dad in Rick and Morty. What is his name? Jimmy? I don't remember, but he voices him some legit. Yeah, Jerry. That's who it is. Jerry Smith. Yeah.
You're really nailing these, Tyler. You're really
I'm not good with names. I've never been good with names. But
hey, it's all right.
Incredible.
But
I got his name, Chris Parnell.
I mean, they really did a great job, but the best voice actor was me and Nogla.
Okay, well, I wouldn't. Why would you try to bundle yourself in with Nogla of all people for voice acting?
I don't know. I just saw a little video come out. For you to know, I was the Best Buy manager on the show.
Oh,
who was?
Wow. Did you ever work a retail job growing up?
I never did retail, but I mowed lawns. I babysat. I did. I guess the closest thing I was to retail was working at my uncle's landscape shop, but never actual retail.
Okay.
I think you played the part perfectly.
Thank you, man. I
played very well. I actually think Nogla did very well too. I'm giving him credit, but he did pretty good.
I'm putting you on the spot, Jack, but could you maybe recall one of your lines and just, take me there. I'm going to close my eyes.
Yeah, okay. That's it. You're fired.
Oh my God.
Pretty good.
Thank you. I mean, that's an Emmy. That's an Emmy right there.
Yeah, that episode's out now. People can go and watch that.
People can. And it'll be linked down below the Alphabetus channel. I think what I love for both of you guys is one thing that I always find a weakness of myself at times is my creative ability, whether it comes to apparel or even at times video ideation. I'm very grateful to have Swappa and Kevy who can help with that from my team. But Will, you've had Hey Donna, and you've been part of many other great shows before. Wildcat, your vlog channel in and of itself, which I know it has been on a bit of a hiatus, it feels like its own show in and of itself from the amount of stuff you cram into episodes. I'm very envious of both your guys' creative ability, and I guess, Will, I'd start with you. Where do you when you think of Hey Donna or Wildcat? When we go to you, is when you think of this show, what is that creative process for you that helps the creative juices flow? Because I need it. Need it,
man. Wow. That's kind of a tough one. I mean, I'm definitely someone who I really like to be put into a box in a lot of ways, if that makes any sense. Like I like when creatives or like whoever is creating the parameters for the project gives me a lot of like, hey, it's got to do this and it's got to do this, and then I kind of try and treat it like a puzzle that I am trying to figure out. But I mean, I think one of the most stifling things for a creative is just having a blank canvas. Like that's really tough to just start from zero.
No, I mean, I feel that way a lot too. I mean, I know Tyler, you guys had a lot of brainstorming sessions that were posted about with alpha betas when going through scripting and stories. You know, how hands-on were you in that process?
Very, very hands-on, but with some structure, like you said, like having some structure or some restrictions in place really helps kind of get the juices flowing in at least one direction, and then from there you can kind of build on it. But yeah, we were very involved in like the overall idea. We actually had a different idea for alpha betas completely. Like it wasn't even going to be like us as like CIA agents going into video games. We were gonna. I think the original idea was like we were going to be characters that worked at like a GameStop or something, like a GameStop type store. And then like crazy products and stuff would come in, and there would be like a bunch of stuff based around that. And it's like, then the show writers, Chris and Dave, came in and they're like, hey, we like that idea, but we have this idea. And then when they came in with that idea of just the CIA agents and like actually going into video games, we're like, okay, that like opens our minds so much more to like funny scenarios we can do in ways like we love like parodying things. I guess that's really like creatively where I do the best, is like it's just so easy to like make fun of some stuff and like video game tropes or like classic things that happen in certain games or in the gaming industry. Like that's really where a lot of it comes from, is parodying.
I think that it does a great job too of just opening up to so much of a larger audience as well. Like the beauty of alpha betas for me is you guys have such a massive audience already, but I truly believe that someone who is not a fan of, you know, you and Evan and Brian and the whole crew can easily watch alpha betas and enjoy it from just a video game perspective. And I know you guys have thought of that and highly considered that. And so for me, it's just brilliant to have paired it with such a big thing. Entertainment, video games is the largest form of entertainment now in the world. So what I find so interesting in that what you guys have had to deal with is so many people trying to creatively, I guess, not necessarily like shut down as maybe harsh as you might want to go, because I know your guys' sense of humor. It can get pretty raunchy, which is part of your guys' appeal. I feel like when trying to bring this to networks, it's got to be pretty harsh. And Will, I'm sure you've experienced this with shows, having to dial back maybe how far you typically take jokes to be more maybe PG-13 instead of rated R. Did that happen for you, Tyler?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, that was part of the reason why we decided for the next episodes to like kickstart it, because we didn't want to be limited, right? Like, our goal was to like get on a streaming service, because there you can be a bit more loose, right? Whereas if you're on like network television, like a Fox or a Comedy Central or something like that, like obviously there's even more restrictions. And yeah, we like to just tell the jokes the way we want to tell the jokes, and you know, hope obviously that they land. But there was definitely a lot of like times in the writers' room where like our showrunners Chris and Dave were like, all right, we're gonna dial that one back a little bit. So yeah. It's all, I mean, that's part of the fun though, is like navigating, you know, trying to be right on that line, because I mean that's 100%. Really where a lot of the funniest comedy comes from. So
100%.
Gotta be able to poke fun at stuff.
I mean, Will, how much freedom did you have for Hey Donna on G4 with that? Did you ever feel limited?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, to be completely frank, when I pitched that show in particular, obviously it's a lot of it is me, right? Like it's me doing a character, and there's no script, and you know that makes networks very nervous.
Yeah.
When you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna go kill 2 hours of screen time by being this character, like, and they're like, oh, you know, I kind of got a lot of that kind of hemming and hawing. So I actually had to film, I think, 4 test episodes for Donna or something like that. Wow. Where, you know, everybody from Comcast had to kind of weigh in and make sure that I wasn't a lunatic, or that, you know, this show just wasn't abhorrently offensive. So yeah, there were a lot of kind of,
I guess that's important.
Yeah, if Donna would be made or not.
That's so crazy to think about. You know, coming in this episode, Tyler, when I was thinking about things I wanted to talk about too, you know, Will and I have been blessed to now be in this for a few years, but you are What? How long has it now been that you've been 10 years now of
My
YouTube?
channel turned 11 years old
11.
in September, and then I've been doing it full time for at least 8. I think 8.
Damn.
That I've been doing it like as a job, and yeah, it's gotten to the point now where like most of the time where I get recognized like in public, the first thing they say is, "Oh, I watched you when I was a kid," or like "I grew up watching you," and I'm like, "Fuck, dude, I just turned 30. Like I'm not old, but you're making me feel
still
old as shit."
making stuff, dude.
Yeah, I feel like a parent, and it's like, I mean, it's great, obviously, like it's amazing that I've been able to do it this long, and I'd like to think I'm still somewhat relevant, which is nice, and I'm able to do what I want to do and still make videos and do this for a living. So, but yeah, it's been a long time. I've seen a lot of shit.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where I was going with this. Was it's pretty unique to still be as the kids would say, poppin' as you are after being in this for so long. Do you think there's a secret to your success of what that's been? Is it always being yourself? Is it keeping the same crew around you? What do you think part of your reason for that is?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I feel like just being yourself. I mean, that sounds cheesy, but truly, like if people like you for you, as long as you stay authentic to yourself and don't change too much. I mean, obviously everybody has to change. You have to evolve and especially with age, obviously, but staying true to yourself and knowing that your audience can see that you're staying true to yourself, I definitely think is important. Obviously the people that I've surrounded myself with and the people, I play with like a pretty tight knit group, but also I play with anybody and everybody that I find, fun to play with or entertaining in some way. So not being afraid to branch out either is also important, but I don't know. I just have fun with it. And as long as I'm having fun, people can see that I'm having fun. I try to stick to kind of the trends in a way. Obviously you want to be, I can't be doing this literally the same thing I was doing 10 years ago. You got to kind of move game to game and thing to thing, but I only do that if I truly have fun doing it. So I would say now is probably the most I've struggled with. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's been like a slow plateau and decline over the past few years. And it's just like, I just kind of lost as far as where to go. I'm still having fun with some things here and there, but it's becoming harder and harder. Like find that thing that really like gets me motivated and I have fun doing it. Hopefully Modern Warfare 2 can fill that.
Keep that going for a bit.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think most gaming creators are in that. It's funny here because you've been doing YouTube for so long, and then I've now made YouTube full time in my life for the last 4 years. And then at the same time, Will, we've had conversations about this, and I feel like your journey with YouTube is really just beginning. You're already so successful from a Twitch standpoint, but when I look at you as a creator, I think what is most exciting for me is that you almost feel untapped on the YouTube side. You're beginning to throw darts at the dartboard and see what works. But I feel like this time next year, you could be like, wow, everything has changed for me because of my YouTube channel.
Yeah. YouTube is really interesting because I think I was personally once bitten, twice shy about making more YouTube content because of kind of my time at BuzzFeed and the feeling of like creating content for someone else on YouTube and being very successful at it and realizing like none of that success for myself. So I think like for me, Twitch was definitely this breath of fresh air, but the elephant in the room right now is that Twitch is fucking up pretty badly. And so, out of necessity, it was kind of like, well, let's go back to YouTube. And begrudgingly, I stepped back into that arena and have had some pretty good success so far. So we'll see where it takes me. But yeah, we're getting back out there.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me because I think it's really key for any creator that's a Twitch streamer to be putting some really solid effort into YouTube, because I think the best part about it is it can pay for itself so very quickly. Like,
Yeah.
if you pay an editor a full-time rate for the size of the following that you have on Twitch, that can pay for itself very, very quickly on YouTube once it gets established and you get a good flow of content going. And I also think you're such an interesting personality that people want to hear your opinions on things. They want to see your funny moments. They want to hear you storytell, which is such a unique position to be in. I don't really upload storytelling content, whereas I feel like for you, you could absolutely crush from YouTube just by going down a similar route to like an Asmongold TV channel, like his channel and how it's run, where
it's a good steak, dude.
Yeah, it's right, the $2 steak. So that's what makes it so cool for me with your future. Or do you think that this next year that's going to be one of your big goals?
Yeah, I think that's certainly going to be the focus. I think working on that, rebooting Donna, and then well, you know, I spoke about it earlier in the episode, but working on this project Doodles that I've kind of been, you know, just figuring out more the technology of it because I think with animation, there's like you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? It's tough because I know how to create a project top to bottom by putting myself in front of a webcam, but all of a sudden you add animation to it and it's like, okay, this is a totally different beast. And Doodles is the ambition of this was to do a live animated show. So we're basically using like a lot of VTuber technology to create puppets for improvers to get in and do like an improvised cartoon. And there's just a lot that we're figuring out, but it's really cool. Yeah, Sear Spew and Andy Milanakis are the guys that I have on that, and we're probably gonna do episode 2 here as soon as Andy is available in Japan. But yeah, I would like to make more shows. Sometimes I feel as though some of the content that I spend a lot of time with, and I think a lot of creators in our industry spend a lot of time making content that I call like hamburger content, right? It's basically like it's like fast food content where it's not great and no one's like that proud of it, but it does good numbers and the audience really seems to respond to it. Yeah. And I think you as a creator always need to find a balance between like that hamburger content that packs people in and that pay the bills with stuff that like feeds your soul and speaks to you as an artist and that you're really proud to show around, right? Like I'm never going to go to someone who's like, so what do you do? And be like, oh, here's a stream I did yesterday. Look at how freaking awesome this is. You know, I played Fall Guys for 12 hours. But, you know, those projects that I'm like, that I get to geek out about and be like, oh man, you know, this was really hard to make. And again, it might not have the same level of success that those other projects do just because of where the meta is right now. But they sustain the soul and they kind of build your portfolio as an artist.
No, it's so true. I think I was laughing in the middle of that because in my head, Wildcat, I just think of Gary's mod for you guys and what where it went to. Like,
yeah, no, I mean that's like 100. I've not heard it described that way, but that 100% makes sense. Like the hamburger content, like that's how I feel like I've been kind of like that's what I feel like I've been making for the past like several years. Just like it's okay, I'm having fun. Like people like it, right? And it's sustainable for a bit, right? But you can't sustain that long term, both as a business and as just you as a creative person. Like it's not the most fun thing ever to just be kind of going through the motions. You have to be, you know, at least for me. And that's kind of where like the vlog channel came in. Like you mentioned, Jack, again, it's been on a hiatus for a bit, but I was just so bored of like feeling restricted to like, okay, I'm not having fun with any video games that I can play right now. I'm not like inspired creatively to like try and think of some crazy gaming related video concept, but I am having a lot of fun doing some of this stuff in real life. And it's like, all right, let's try and tap into that a little bit and do some vlog stuff. So I started messing around with that and it was a lot of fun and I want to get back to it. Just had a bunch of stuff going on this summer, but yeah,
did you ever get the feeling that it was like almost a daunting task to fit so much into each video? Or are you like, yes, that's the way it needs to be, and I'm going to take the approach of when episodes can go up, they're going to be bangers, but it might take a bit between episodes to get them out?
Yeah, my goal with the vlogs was one a week, and even that has turned out to be really, really difficult. But my goal as far as the content itself was I wanted each vlog to be like 10 to 15 minutes, and I wanted it to feel like it was like a best of like 4 or 5 vlogs almost. Where it was like there was 4 or 5 different things that happened in it, but you only got 2 or 3 minutes of each one. But that 2 or 3 minutes was like super engaging, super entertaining. You wanted more of it. And maybe if it wasn't your cup of tea for whatever reason, 2 minutes later, there's something else that's happening in the vlog that's completely different, right? So like there's some car stuff involved, right? It's like not everybody's into cars, but it can be interesting enough for a couple minutes. And as long as I shift gears after 2 or 3 minutes, people that aren't into that, there's maybe something else for them to be into. Like we did a goofy thing with like these exploding golf balls where I pranked some of my friends and like random golfers on this we went to like a really nice golf course. Then I found these golf balls from TikTok that when you hit them, it sounds like a shotgun going off. So we were just hitting them and then filming people like 2 holes away, and they would all just like look over. It was great. It was
Tiger Woods hitting.
And I would be like screaming too. I would hit it, be like, oh, and they would like look over, like what the hell is going on? But
yeah, no, I remember seeing you film at Tim's event with that, and I was, and you were explaining it to me. I'm like, And I gotta step my stuff up right now because this is getting crazy.
But it also made me reappreciate like gaming content. Like when I was working super hard on like the vlog stuff, and then like in June I had a bunch of like health stuff that kind of slowed me down. Like throughout that process, like I couldn't really do the vlog stuff, but it was still pretty easy to like get some of the gaming stuff done and just kind of I don't know what the word is, but just made me feel fortunate that like I have gaming as an outlet, because like it is just so easy to like make a gaming video. You know, like you just spend a couple hours, have some fun, put out a video. A lot of people are going to enjoy it as long as you're not, you know, literally just being a zombie, you know, in front of the camera or whatever. But
absolutely.
I mean, it was like the vlog stuff took so much effort to get the same amount of views as like just having fun with my friends playing games for a couple hours. So
it's incredible too how collaborative it can be. You know, I still think of the Rust server, the offline TV Rust server, where I know like Will, that did so much for so many people and was such a great creative outlet and really let people shine through. Where even that, and when I played RP, I was just taken back by the creativity and the ability for the people around me to riff and realize that, you know, hey, my role in this right now might not be to be the superstar and instead be the one to let, you know, maybe a Jack stream be so taken in by our creative ability on this character that it was just great how certain people like facilitated awesome experiences for others on the server. I don't know if you felt that way, Will.
Oh yeah, dude.
But like that's what gaming's all about, you know?
I played some GTA RP too. That was fun. It was crazy. The people in there.
I think the magic thing about the Rust server as opposed to like other RPing servers was you had this amazing RP and you kind of had this really diverse cast of characters from around the internet. But I think the thing that was really magic that kind of spoke to like the nostalgia of the gaming experience is so many of us were getting our hands on Rust for the first time. Right.
True.
And it almost felt like that, like you get home from GameStop, you got 4 friends in a basement, you're playing something for the first time, and people were discovering things, right? It's like, oh my God, you can do that. How did that person do that? And so incorporating that into the role play where it's like, how did that person get a neon sign? That's incredible. And just like that explorative, experimental kind of like limit testing part of video games that we don't really get at the highest levels anymore because everybody's so freaking good.
Yeah.
It was just fun to see people mess around with a game and figure it out together. And that was, I think, the most magic part of the Rust server.
Whoa, we're in the middle of the podcast, but guess what? We want to give a shout out to our wonderful sponsor, Heineken 00. It has all the flavor of the original with none of the alcohol. This is an alcohol-free beverage, only 69 calories. It's a crisp option, so regulars. So now you can have some drinks in the middle of a movie marathon. Will Neff, I know you've been watching some movies on stream. How is that going?
Off the flavor of a film like a Heineken 00.
Oh,
I'll tell you that.
Don't even get me started, baby. Hey, you know it's got all the wonderful things you love about a normal Heineken with 0 alcohol. You can have it between workouts, have it in the middle of a movie marathon, have it in the middle of a gaming session. Major shout out to Heineken 00 for sponsoring this episode of the CouRage Nadeshot Show. Now let's get back into our deep conversation about our existential crises. Dude, I knew nothing about that game, and like seeing the first, like I remember going into like an art gallery someone made in the game, and I was like, this is insane. This one hotel had like a working elevator or something like that, and I was like, this is absolutely wild. Like, what is going on here? Even down to going and raiding the oil rigs, like all those experiences. I remember the first time I saw one of the mechanical helicopters fly over, and I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to make a working door. Like, I'm just trying to get a door to work.
And stones, and there's literally like a Black Hawk flying overhead.
Bro, and you know what's funny is one of the most exciting experiences for me as a gaming creator that I've had since Fortnite was, you know, Fortnite became one of the biggest games in the world. No secret to anybody, became one of the biggest games on YouTube. But there was 2 games that were still titans over it from a YouTube viewership perspective, and that was Minecraft and GTA. And I've only ever done 2 series in total, one on Minecraft, one on GTA, to just test the waters. Minecraft was the Hunted series. You know, we had Syndicate and Nadeshot and Hex, and that was an incredible experience, and everyone really loved those videos because I was that noob that we talked about, Will, in that game that everyone else knew that I was like, oh my God, I just made a pumpkin head. And people were like, this is hysterical. And then on the other hand, there was GTA where I go in with, Wildcat and Marcel and Nogla, and these guys are legends in this game, showing me the ropes where we're going to do things that they've done a million times over. And I'm like, you can spin a wheel and win a car in this game. And, it was so cool to get that test that even now, when I look at GTA 6, I'm like, that game for all three of us just extends our career if it's done even remotely correctly.
Yeah.
Just extends our career for 3 to 5 more years. Do you ever think about that, Tyler? Where are you like mentally preparing for what the GTA 6 launch will be already? Because
I mean, I've been looking forward to it for a long, long time, obviously, and I still think it's like 2-3 years out, 3 years probably. I think. But yeah, no, I haven't met Will prior to this, but my man is like tapping into my brain with some of the things he's saying right now, with like the whole like discovering new things in a game, like at the same time. I think that is like probably one of the most addicting things for me when it comes to like creating content. Like when I think back to like all the times me and my like group of friends like blew up to certain extents, like there was multiple games and things that happened that kind of boosted our careers. One was when Black Ops 2 came out. And now that I think about it, the reason why is because we were discovering stuff in that game that no one had really seen or done before. Mm-hmm. Like that was like the most addicting thing. I think that was what like separated a lot of our content from other people. Like I remember like one of the first days the game came out, we figured out a way to make your riot shield invisible, and we were just messing with so many people. And then like another small example is like there was a door where if you put a C4 on the door, if someone went up to it, it was an automatic sliding door. As soon as it opened, it would blow up the C4 and kill them. And that game had theater mode, so you would just get people over and over with that. And then it's like, okay, the next game that come out was GTA. Again, we were discovering glitches and crazy stuff in that game that nobody had seen before.
Yeah.
And then moving on to Gary's mod, nobody had really tapped into it the way that we did with sandbox stuff. And then Fortnite, that game just had so much to do and so much to explore. And there was new stuff every week. Yeah, I think that 100% is like, and now I don't know what GTA 6 can do that's going to be so much drastically better than GTA 5. That's my only thing is like GTA 5 was so insane. Like, what more can they do? But I'm sure they'll find a way. It's Rockstar. Like, they're literally rock stars at it. So
I think you're kind of speaking to something that a lot of gamers are feeling right now. Is that I feel like part of the problem is even with new releases, games feel very formulaic right now.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they're really good AAA games where there's nothing technically wrong with them, you're still kind of missing that feeling of like, oh, this feels new. This feels different.
Yeah.
I've played a ton of games recently where I'm like, okay, this is a slightly shinier iteration of what I've done. And it feels like we're at kind of a plateau, which is a sad feeling.
Yeah, I saw someone say, I think it might have been Level Cap Gaming. He said that the new Call of Duty, it feels like the game was produced by an AI algorithm. Like it doesn't feel like it. It's a good game. It has like all the things you need for like a good, fun shooter game. But like there's just something missing, some element of it missing where it just feels like they've gathered all this data from previous titles and then just plugged it into an algorithm to optimize player retention. And then that's what came out. And it's not as fun and interesting.
Do you ever see a day, Tyler, where you just like straight up quit video games for content? Like maybe if you start a family one day and you turn to a family channel, or you get more into cars and this and that. Do you ever see that being a spot, or will you always be a gaming creator?
I don't know. I've thought about it. I definitely can see a scenario where I'm like, I don't know, in my 40s or something, and I just do like car stuff on YouTube or something. Like I just work in my garage all day with a camera or something like that. Like I could see that being, and not care about how it does for views or whatever, just having fun with it.
Yeah.
But like I said, like this past summer, I just realized like how good of a gig it is to do gaming content on YouTube. Like it's unreal. Like one, how much fun it is. Two, how collaborative it is. And three, just how truly easy it is once you get it set up in a way where it's like, like I have a team of editors and whatnot, and I know you do as well, Jack. It's just like, it makes it so much easier to be able to like, all right, if I need to, I can like take some time, 2 to 3 hours, play a game, that can be a video, and I can do that every day. And it can be fairly sustainable as long as, you're at least trying to do new and interesting things. So from that perspective, it's like, I don't see a reason why I would stop doing that. Yeah. I love video games. I don't think I'll ever be so bored of games where I don't play any at all. But I've already seen like over the past few years playing less and less. But there can still be a game that sucks me in 100% where I'm playing like 8 to 12 hours a day.
That's my thing too, is I have times where I sit and my stream can tell when I'm maybe less into a game or less enthusiastic about what I'm doing on stream. But then I have releases like this most recent COD release where I'm like streaming 8 hours a day on COD when I'm enjoying it or when I'm enjoying the game I'm playing is quite literally the easiest thing in the world for me to do because I'm having so much fun. I'm bouncing off the chat. We're having funny moments. We're winning games. I'm with the people I love, in the calls and having a good time. That at times when I question if I still love streaming as much as I once did, I'm like, oh yeah, I absolutely do, but I need to love what I'm playing. It's when I feel like it really begins to feel like work when I'm just kind of going through the motion of being live and just trying to.
I find it really hard
content.
with streaming.
Yeah, I mean, it's streaming is its own separate beast, right? It's like I think a lot of traditional YouTubers learned that when they were streaming on YouTube for those first deals that had come out, and
I had one of those. Yeah, I didn't have a crazy amount of hours I had to do, but it was like enough that it was like, okay, this is like now kind of a semi part-time job on top of everything else I was doing.
Yeah,
and it was like, dude, if I had 2 to 4 hours to do on a day and I didn't have anything I felt like playing, it was such a struggle. But it was like, obviously, like I don't want to just jump on stream and be miserable just to get it done. Like I want to at least try to be entertaining. And it was just, dude, some days it was like I was planning on streaming 4 to 6 hours today. 2 hours in, I'm like, I'm good for today. I got to go do something else. Or I'm going to lose my mind.
Dude, Will, I always tune into your streams and I feel like you always have such great energy for your broadcast, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
Even if you're just reacting to, a show, I feel like your input you give is great. And it's a reason why your viewership just keeps going up. Like for you, I saw you tweet, I think like last week or something that you were just like, hey guys, I was swamped today. Got to take the day off. Is there a secret to that sauce for you of energy for it? Are you just loving the journey right now? Do you feel like, this is still such a new avenue for you to have seen the success that you're like just raring to go each day? Because that was part of what I felt when Fortnite was first blown up. I was like, all I wanted to do was be on stream.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the great things about being a nerd and talking about nerd stuff is like the cornerstone of your stream is, nerds are passionate about stuff. So, like whenever there's like a new Star Wars or something, I get in there and be my version of comic book guy, where I'm like, Endor sucks, or like whatever I'm going to do. And I can find a lot of passion about those things. I think there are days where I'm definitely not feeling it. And I think one thing that's really helped me as opposed to other Twitch streamers is like, I don't go beyond 3 or 4 hours. It doesn't happen. I remember early in the career, I would look at, my peers who were typically doing 8 hours, like every single day. And I aspired to that. And I just kind of realized I was like, that is the soul suck, man. I have to have a regular routine. I got to go to the gym. I got to eat well. I got to stand up every hour and stretch my legs, or else I feel significant fall off. And that's always kind of been the agreement with my audience where I'm like, listen, dude, I know other Twitch streamers are doing 8 hours. You're never going to get that here. But for those 3 hours that I'm going, I'm going to be locked in. One thing I do before every stream that's really funny that not many people know about is I do you know smelling salts? That like in my pre-stream I rip a smelling salt every time. I'll just
dude, no shot.
And I'll just hit the ground running.
Me and my friends would joke that like some YouTubers we thought were doing that, or even worse, doing
and I guess it's now just come true.
Because the energy that some people bring, it's like they got to be doing something. So it's good to hear. Maybe I should try that. But
yeah, here's my box of medical smelling salts.
I've actually never smelled smelling salts. Now I need some.
Dude, I actually smelled them for the first time. I got my blood drawn and I was feeling lightheaded, and I let the nurse know, and she was like, all right, I need you to do me a favor and just smell this. And I was like, whoa, I'm alive!
I need you to do me a favor and smell this. Pull my finger.
Yeah.
Sir, you're rock hard.
You're fully erect right now. Yeah, no, I was locked in right after that. Hell, even our buddy Marcel jokes about smelling salts when playing COD, and I'm pretty sure he actually does use them because of.
I think he does. Yeah, I think he actually does now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like not even.
I do agree with what Will said. I think 3 to 4 hours. I not only is that all that I could ever do, and I prefer 0 hours. I like to not stream, and I try not to. I'll play with my friends who are streaming, and I'll see like in their chat or whatever, people be like, "Why isn't Wildcat streaming?" I'm like, "Because I don't like it. I don't want to." But I think 3 to 4 hours is like optimal because there's so many other platforms that like you want to dedicate time to. Now, if you're already established and you have a team that can do that while you're streaming, obviously that's great too. But like, I have some friends that I'm like playing the new Call of Duty with that are smaller streamers. They're kind of up and coming. I think they're incredibly talented. And I've told him, like, I don't think it's worth it for you to stream 8 to 12 hours. Like, stream 3 to 4, have a
100%.
consistent schedule for people to show up.
Yeah.
The rest of that time, let's just record off stream. Let's try to come up with some crazy stuff that people haven't seen before. Let's really like dive into like a good YouTube title and thumbnail, or posting something on TikTok or Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Yeah, I think the days of like a lot of streamers doing those kind of crazy hours, I don't think that's going to be, I don't think it's super sustainable, but some people somehow still do it, like XUC.
Yeah.
I think when you're a smaller creator, I've talked about this a lot in my chat, where people come in and be like, "Oh, CouRage, how do I see success?" And I think a large part of it is there's a myth that you need to be live for 10 to 12 hours a day, where I would take the approach of less is more. I'd rather you be live for 5 hours and have a banger stream, and then use the other hours to get short form content that can increase your discoverability out. I think that right now there's more of an opportunity to go from 0 to 1 viewer than ever before, with the use of TikTok, Reels, Shorts, that you can have a banger clip that goes viral. And I think that some people really can misunderstand how big it can be to get even 10 new viewers from a clip that can go out there and find you a new audience. So
yep.
For me, it's pretty crazy, the tools that there now are. And I think if you're a small streamer watching this, think less is more with hours, because you're hearing it from two of the biggest creators in the world right now. I want to go back a little bit to what we talked about earlier, and Will, talk to you about this because of the reactionary stuff that you do and your great insight that you give and your opinions on shows and movies. Have you ever thought about making a secondary channel that is more of a live streamer approach on reviewing films and shows, where there's the traditional movie reviewers that you see on YouTube right now, but incorporating chat, making it where it's almost like you're watching something with your stream, but then also giving your harsh review on it, whether it's a bad movie or potentially positive review on a good movie? Because I think that could do really, really well as like a second channel type content.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do more review content. I would love to just do more of like everything. But I think the problem that we all face at a certain point is like, I've gotten to a point, and I think you guys have probably gotten to a point where like, it's not the cost of something, or if I think it'll do well or not. I've become so debilitatingly time poor. I don't have hours. And I think with G4 wrapping up, I think I will have a newfound wellspring of time. But there are so many times in my career now that I have to go to my schedule and just be like, can I make this work?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And part of the reason why I went over to YouTube and was so excited about streaming on YouTube was that it freed up a little bit more of my time. But hell, that's even part of the CouRage Nadeshot Show. Is we've heard loud and clear from the fans that they want it back as much. We had a slight miscommunication, and when we brought it back, that we gave an expectation of an episode every couple of weeks, which I know doesn't sound like much, but so much has changed for Matt and I since we started the CouRage Nadeshot Show. And I'm sure you've even heard this from some of your audience, Tyler, of your vlog channel, where it's like we have a certain expectation for the quality of episodes that we want to put out. And a unique situation, and I guess a blessed situation we ran into last year, was we kind of oversold the episodes of the podcast to sponsors and made it to where we had to just do too many. So we were just forcing ourselves to do episodes for a sponsorship reason, instead of doing episodes that Matt and I were really excited about. Like, this is an episode I'm really excited about because I get so motivated when talking to you two. The next guest that we have that I can't say here, you'll see when that episode comes out, is someone that gets me so motivated every time I have a chance to chat with them. That now, with bringing back the CouRage Nadeshot Show, we really only want to do episodes that we are really, really excited about. And I feel like you kind of have a similar thought with your vlog, Tyler, where it's like, I need this to be a banger, or I'm not just going to upload just to upload, because I think it does more negative than positive.
Yeah, I've always had that premise, and then I kind of went against my own premise when I said I was going to do the vlog channel, where I was like, oh, I want to try to do one a week. That's always ever been like, that's what I want to try to do. That's what I'd like to get to. But I've never been a believer in like having a super strict schedule when it comes to like content itself. Like, you've got to be into it. Like I can't, I'm never going to make something just because like I need to make it. Like, I need a video that day or whatever. Right. Like this is November. This is like prime ad revenue season. I don't think I've uploaded for like 2 or 3 days. I just haven't like I've been trying to play Call of Duty, and I just haven't been able to do anything in that game that I find like super like interesting yet.
Yeah.
Finally have. The video's coming soon, but I've just been like, oh, I just need to level up. I just need to unlock all this stuff, and then I can make a video that I actually want to make and actually want to put out. And yeah, you can't just force it, especially when you get busy. Like we're getting older. We got more stuff going on.
It's so true. It's pretty wild to think about how back in the day when I first started, I was like, I was it was so unsustainable how much I was grinding, and you don't really realize that until you get a bit older. I even see it with Symphony right now, where Mason's 22, turning 23 soon. He's still putting so many hours in a day that he misses out on some opportunities that, yeah, I'm like, come on, bro, you got to do this stuff. Like, we got to get out and live a little bit. But then at the same time, I was like, yeah, but when I was his age, I was doing the exact same thing. So I really can't blame him. I just think everyone kind of reaches a point where you realize, like, man, time goes quick, and I got to do more things to enjoy life and live a more balanced life. And even now with my health journey, that's been a big thing for me. Will, I know that you're looking fantastic with the workouts that you've been doing. We talked about this at dinner when we went a bit ago. What does that mean? What's the "oh man" mean?
No, dude, I think about like, I was kind of a health fanatic, and then the COVID era of just being locked inside, like that road back, is just so, once you get it, you can sustain it, right? But like that road back is just, it's always the first step that's the hardest.
No, absolutely. And it's always such like an up and down for me in regards to like weight and working out. And now I think my biggest goal is I just need to keep it as part of my life. I don't know how you guys feel, but like I kind of reach a point where I get content, and then I'm like, all right, time to spend that time in other places. And next, I'm up 20 pounds again. That's literally what has always happened to me, where this time I just need to make it part of my day to day, because I know how much it helps me mentally. Like if I get a 10 out of 10 video and I'm not working out, bro, I'm at my lowest of lows.
Yeah.
If I have a video that flops, I'm like, damn, my life sucks. But now that I work out, I'm like, hey, I'm good. As long like this morning, I did 40 minutes on the treadmill. No matter what happens the rest of the day, even if it doesn't go as planned, I know I'm good. And I need to like ingrain that into my memory, because I forget that half the damn time.
Yeah, no, I've been getting back in the gym too. I actually got back a couple hours ago. I've been trying to go 4 days a week, but it's like a lot of people always talk about, very cliche, like, oh, it's good for your mental health. You're going to feel better. But it's true. You act like it's something that you get it accomplished. You feel like, I feel like people are at their happiest when they feel like they're progressing in some way, whether it's, whether it's professionally or health wise or whatever. And so it's like, if you can do something in a day, simple as working out, which sounds hard, but it's really not. Just get yourself to the gym, go for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, get it done. And you'll feel like you're at least improving in some aspect of your life, and it snowballs. And yeah, and I've been trying to get back on that now, because a part of what you were mentioning, like, I've been doing this a long time. Yeah. I sacrificed a lot of stuff early on, which was a little bit easy for me because I lived in Indiana. There was nothing to do. I had no friends there really, other than some people that I saw at school. So I was like, all right, let me lock myself inside all day and play games and make videos all day for like 5 years straight. And I did that, and it was great. And now I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could have probably been going to the gym then. That might have been good. Now I'm 30, and I'm like, all right, I'm trying to get back in the gym, and then I hurt myself every 2 weeks doing something. But yeah, that's a lot of like what's going on now, is like trying to catch up on some of that stuff, trying to have a bit more of a social life now, because it's like I kind of missed out on a lot of that, and the getting into the gym has been super, super big.
Yeah, and I think it's a journey that everyone has to go through themselves. It makes a ton of sense. And right now we're in the last couple months of 2022. I think that all of us here have, absolutely crushed this year. We continue to push forward, but looking ahead, 2023, Will, what are you most excited about that you're looking forward to potentially doing that's on your plate?
I've just started to be sent out for acting stuff because of the success of Hey Donna, which I mean was such a pleasant surprise for me that people, within that industry saw Donna and were like, oh, this doesn't suck. So I'm really hoping to do some serious acting in the coming year.
Wow. Is there a dream opportunity?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would love to play Booster Gold whenever they cast that. I know it'll be Chris Pratt, but it'd be nice.
Wait, what is that? Help me.
I don't know what that is.
I'm out of the loop.
Booster Gold. Booster Gold is like my favorite DC superhero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's a lesser known superhero, but he was created in the 80s, basically in response to all the excess in the world. And he's essentially a superhero from the future that really doesn't have any powers, but he steals a bunch of very powerful items in the future and then goes back and tries to usurp Superman and become like the Wheaties superhero. And like he's basically doing everything for fame. Like he's totally so he's kind of like an anti-hero. And at first he's just such a jerk, but then he kind of learns what it means to be a hero. But I think doing a commentary on like Kanye West or super celebrities of the common era with a Booster Gold hero story would be incredible.
Wow. All right. Well, that was actually like a perfect answer. Like that was
thank you.
You kind of had something for me. Good luck following that up, Wildcat. What are you most excited about?
Mostly, honestly, just getting healthier. Like had a lot of random issues this past year. Mostly in the summer, I got like salmonella poisoning. I was in the hospital for like 3 or 4 days. Yeah, and it was like really bad because I don't know. Still don't know. I didn't eat anything I felt was questionable. I ate with people most of the meals, and no one else got sick. But I don't have a spleen. I lost my spleen when I was like 17 in a 4-wheeler accident, and so like that's one of the main systems that fights off infection in your body. So like I was super susceptible to it. So I was in the hospital for that, and then the IV when I was in the hospital gave me a blood clot.
No.
And then there was a bunch of other stuff that happened. Basically, from like June to like end of August, I was dealing with a bunch of health problems. So I've only recently been able to get like consistently back in the gym, and it's been good. And so next year, I want like literally a whole year getting in the gym, eating better, no other random health issues. That's what I'm most looking forward to. Obviously, YouTube and all that stuff's going to be fun. I'm going to try and get back to the vlogging and stuff like that. But really just like personally being the best version of myself by the end of next year is my goal. That's what, and I'm looking forward to it. Like I've been back in the gym 4 days a week for the past several weeks, and I'm feeling stronger than ever. It's good.
I love that. I mean, hey, if you ever want to bounce motivation off each other, go for it. I've been doing that a lot with Nice Week. We're both doing the same fasting app, trying to just hold each other accountable, and it's been great. Just having more people to rely on, know I'm on this journey with. I couldn't agree more. I think that my answer would be the exact same of health is wealth. When I'm in the gym, I'm just the most productive version of myself. My content is better. My mental state is better. And that just reflects in doing better for the business, and keeping that in mind is so key.
Well, and I should probably also mention, I'm probably going to get married next year. I should probably have said that, but we've been together for 7 years. It's been like we've been married the whole time. So
hey, let's go.
But finally getting that done. That'll be good.
Dude, I can't believe you're getting married in space, bro. That's going to be crazy.
It's going to be sick, dude. You're invited, dude. The International Space Station, bro.
That's going to be sheesh. All right. Well, I guess I'll see you up there. Tyler, thank you so much for joining us on the episode.
Thank you for having me.
I leave these always being so excited. I'm so grateful to have you in my life, and for the love that you've always shown me, and the great sessions we've had together gaming. I never take it for granted. And Will, obviously, you're like, what I think what's so crazy about you, Will, is that you're like here right now, which is already incredible, but I can't go as high as the camera of where you're going to be, especially the next year, but I'm excited to watch. And look, Chris Pratt, bro, you're getting that role. You're getting that role. I don't want to hear that, man.
I'm manifesting it. I'm self-actualizing.
Hey, the universe has got us, baby. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much, both of you guys, for being on the show today. Major shout out again to our wonderful sponsor, Heineken 0.0, alcohol-free, all the wonderful taste of Heineken without any of the alcohol in it. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a wonderful episode of the CouRage Nadeshot Show. We're going to be bringing you more. Just be patient with us. I'm sorry. Nadeshot's got a wedding and a company to run, and I've got videos to react to. A sellout. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.